Today we're checking out the all-new iPad 11th gen. I guess they're calling it the iPad A16 now, but the price starts at $349, so pretty similar to the previous 10th gen version. Looks like the same box design as before. They also have the same color options, so I decided to go with yellow this time, just for something different. Kind of surprised they're still including a charging brick, and then a braided USB-C to USB-C cable. It looks like you've got the quick start guide, safety and warranty information. No stickers though. Okay, this is definitely more yellow than I was expecting. Almost a gold color. Yellow looks really good in person, probably a little harder to see on video. Obviously, they've upgraded from the A14 Bionic chip to the A16. Although it went from 6 cores to only 5 now for the CPU. They've also finally got rid of the 64 gigabytes of storage for the base model. It now starts with 128 gigabytes. You can also go up to 256, and they've also added 512. As you can see, pretty much identical to the iPad 10th gen. Kind of strange, but they got rid of where it says iPad. You can see the same bezel size on the new iPad as well. Funny thing is, when you look at the specs on this, Apple now says 11-inch liquid retina display instead of 10.9 inches. I imagine they're following what TV brands do, how they say it's a 65-inch TV, but if you measure it, it's not exactly. Usually about a ½ inch less most of the time. As far as I know, everything else is identical to the previous 10th gen iPad. It's going to use the same USB-C Apple Pencil and the first gen Apple Pencil as well. It's got the same screen resolution, size, brightness, and so on. It's got the same Touch ID on the power button as before. Even weighs exactly the same at just over 1 pound or 481 grams. It also still has Wi-Fi 6. You also have a 5G cellular version as well. It also works with the Magic Keyboard Folio case, just like before, which I guess is kind of nice if you already have accessories from the previous iPad. You can use them on this new one. You can see it's pretty much the same software as almost every other iPad that's came out within the last few years. Not sure if I like the yellow wallpaper on here. I think the gray or blue version looks better. Looks like it's using about 18 gigabytes of the 128 available. Screen quality on here is going to be very similar to the previous iPad 10, which I think looks pretty good in person. I know some people may not like that it's still 60 Hz refresh rate, but still looks pretty good in person, in my opinion. You can see the USB-C Apple Pencil attaches right on the side. Doesn't charge it, unfortunately, but still pretty nice that it does that. Kind of nice you can use the Apple Pencil while it's charging as well. Kind of limited still though on where you can use the Apple Pencil. Maybe not quite as convenient as the 2nd gen Apple Pencil or as good as the new Apple Pencil Pro, but still one of the best ways to draw, take notes, or just move around the software. Just a really nice feature to have, considering this is the entry-level iPad. As far as performance goes, you can see there is a small improvement on single core scores, quite a bit on multi-core scores as well. Also a nice improvement on GPU performance. Overall though, I think it's going to feel very similar to the previous iPad 10th generation and is going to be a good option for playing games like PUBG Mobile, Asphalt Legends Unite, pretty much all games in the App Store you shouldn't have an issue with, especially now with the improved performance over the previous iPad 10. I also ran my typical battery drain test just to see how this compares to the iPad 10. It lasted about 5.5 hours, so pretty comparable to the iPad 10. Obviously, there's going to be a lot of variables when it comes to battery life, but considering this is the entry-level iPad now, I feel like it does a pretty good job with battery life. Obviously, you'll get a lot better battery life if you turn the screen brightness down, because my testing is at 100% screen brightness, which I don't feel like most people will be doing when using it, especially indoors. You still have one speaker on each side, even though it looks like two. To me, it sounds like it's only this bottom speaker away from the power button. Same thing on the other side. Here's a quick sample just to give you an idea of what it sounds like, but again, very similar to the iPad 10th gen. Looks to be the same cameras with 12 megapixel wide angle on the back, 12 megapixel on the front, including center stage. Inside the camera app, you've got pano, square, photo, video, slow-mo, and time-lapse. You can also shoot up to 4K resolution, 60 frames per second for video recording as well. Here's a few samples just to give you an idea of what to expect from the new iPad A16 for photo and video quality. It's not going to be the best camera quality out there. Still pretty good for a tablet though, in my opinion. So I think you could use this for Zoom meetings, FaceTime, that kind of stuff. As long as you have good lighting, it should be fine. I feel like even though this is pretty minimal updates compared to the previous iPad 10, if you have an iPad 9 or older, I think this could still be a nice upgrade. I feel like they upgraded two of the most important things. They doubled the storage from the previous version, and the better performance is always nice to have, especially once you have more software updates each year. But if you like tablets, phones, and other tech, as usual, I've got a lot more stuff that I'm working on, so you'll want to keep an eye out for those upcoming videos. So if you've made it this far into the video, you may want to say thanks by subscribing, and don't forget to give a thumbs up if this video was helpful. This is Brian from Fishbee Productions. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.